What's up, Falcons Nation? It's your boy Jew coming at you with another Atlanta Falcons video. As always, Falcons Nation rise up. In today's video, I want to talk about why trading Matt Ryan could be a huge mistake by our Atlanta Falcons. But if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, hit that like button for your boy. You also can follow me on Twitter at Jew Talk Sports. But I appreciate you guys continuing to support the channel, continuing to help me grow the channel. Let's get this thing to 1,000 subscribers. We're about almost at 600 subscribers. So I do appreciate you guys continuing to share out this content. But with that being said, let's jump right into the video. So in this video, as I was stating, I want to talk about why trading Matt Ryan, Atlanta Falcons quarterback, could be a huge mistake. For one thing, yesterday we faced the Minnesota Vikings, and Matt Ryan had a great game. He actually graded out for PFF, which stands for Pro Football Focus. He actually graded out as the highest offensive player with a 85.6 rating or grade. He graded out at 85.6 as the best offensive player in yesterday's game. If y'all see me looking down here, I have some stats right here in front of me that I wrote down. He was 30 of 40, 371 yards, and 4 touchdowns yesterday against the Minnesota Vikings. He was the sole reason when there was a big play that needed to be made. Him and Julio Jones arose to the occasion. Both of those guys are definitely the heart and soul of this team. Julio Jones and Matt Ryan, they are the leaders of this team. And pretty much the Falcons go as Matt Ryan and Julio Jones go. As you know, since Matt Ryan's been here, I believe this is his 13th season. He's been a top 10 quarterback ever since he's been in the league. He's definitely been that player that's carried our Atlanta Falcons. I believe since he's been in the league for the 13 years he's been in the league, he's only had a top 10 defense, I believe, twice, if I'm not mistaken. But Matt Ryan, if you watched the game yesterday, he proved that he still has a lot left in the tank. Like I said, 30 or 40, 371 yards passing, 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions in yesterday's game. And him and Julio Jones basically played a flawless game. So all those people that thinks that Matt Ryan's over the hill, I come to tell you, he still has a lot of game left. He's only age 35. I feel like Matt Ryan is still in his prime, and he still has some prime years left. If you look nowadays at the quarterbacks, they're now playing into their 40s, and they're still playing at a consistent level. Tom Brady yesterday played a pretty good game. Aaron Rodgers is up there in his 30s. All of these guys are older than Matt Ryan. Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees, all of these guys are still playing at pretty high levels. Now, I went and looked up some numbers because I know that our Falcons fans, we like to do the hypothetical. We like to play the hypothetical game. So I was sitting back thinking and doing some research because, as you know, here at Atlanta Falcons Nation, Jew Talk Sports, we give you guys the hard facts and the stats. We don't get all emotional and in our feelings about players and things of that nature. We just go straight for the facts and go straight to the stats to back up or support, whatever narrative we're putting out. So I went in, looked up some stats, and I wanted to give you guys like an example of why we say that we shouldn't tank the season. We shouldn't trade Matt Ryan. We shouldn't try to tank for Trevor Lawrence or Justin Fields. And I was trying to think of a player that I can actually compare Matt Ryan to. And if you guys been watching my channel, you know I always compare Matt Ryan to Peyton Manning. So I started doing some brainstorming and thinking, and then I thought about it. This scenario reminds me of Peyton Manning's career and how his career ended with the Indianapolis Colts. If you remember, Peyton Manning actually had a neck injury. I believe it was in 2011. He sat out the whole 2011 season. He had to have surgery on his neck. I believe he had like a herniated disc or something like that in his neck, and he still wanted to play football. But the Indianapolis Colts decided to trade him because they didn't think he had anything left in the tank. At the time, he was actually 35 years old the year he sat out. And when he started his career with the Denver Broncos in 2012, he actually was 36 years old. So it was similar situation like Matt Ryan. He ended up, he was a veteran quarterback at the time, Peyton Manning. He still thought that he had a lot left in the tank, but the coach really didn't believe in him anymore. I think the fans still love Peyton Manning, but the organization no longer believed in him because of the neck injury. So the scenario is a little bit different because he actually had a serious injury where Matt Ryan doesn't have any serious injuries, but it's still kind of the same notion or narrative because fans of Atlanta Falcons, a lot of our fans don't believe that Matt Ryan has anything left in the tank. A lot of them, a lot of us think that he's over the hills, or a lot of y'all think, because me and Atlanta Falcons Nation, me, Mad Mike, K Styles, Tonio, Big Low, we've been trying to tell, you guys, the fans, that Matt Ryan has a lot left in the tank. So I went ahead and just looked up some numbers. And I basically compared Peyton Manning's numbers to the hot quarterback that was coming in at the time the Colts drafted with their number 1 pick, Andrew Luck, who actually recently retired. He played less than 10 seasons in the league. He only played 7 years in the league because he started to have serious injuries, serious injury concerns and things of that nature. So he decided to leave. So I kind of wanted to go ahead and give you guys an example of why I say it's not always the best thing to move on from a historically great quarterback. And I'm going to use Peyton Manning and I'm going to use Andrew Luck as a great example for you guys. So I went and looked up their numbers to kind of compare between Andrew Luck and between Peyton Manning with his later years with the Denver Broncos. So I'm gonna be looking down because I have some stats here that I want to read out to you guys, and you guys can be the judge of, was this a good trade or was it the right move for the Colts to cut Peyton Manning and bring in the young quarterback, the number 1 draft pick, Andrew Luck, or is hindsight 2020 and now they possibly would have wanted to keep Peyton Manning after them seeing what he did in Denver? I think that the Colts possibly would have changed their mind on bringing in Andrew Luck, and they possibly would have stuck with Peyton Manning. So I'm going to give you guys the numbers. So in 2012, that was the first year that Peyton Manning actually played with the Denver Broncos. He was at age 36, like Matt Ryan will be 36 next year. He threw 37 touchdowns, because I told you I'm going to give you guys the facts and the stats. He threw 37 touchdowns that season, first year in Denver, 11 interceptions, a completion percentage of 68.6% passing, and he made the Pro Bowl that season. And he threw or passed for 4,659 yards in that season. And the record for the Denver Broncos that year was 13-3. They finished 13-3 in the regular season. Now, that was the same year for Andrew Luck. I'm going to compare his numbers, his rookie season with the Indianapolis Colts. He was age 23 when he was drafted by the Indianapolis Colts. He threw 23 touchdowns that season and 18 interceptions. He had a completion percentage of 54.1% completion rating, and he passed for 4,374 yards passing. The team record that year for the Indianapolis Colts was 11-5. So that was the rookie season. Andrew Luck also made the Pro Bowl that year. So both guys made the Pro Bowl, but Peyton Manning threw for more yards. His team had a better record, finishing at 13-3, where Andrew Luck's team finished at 11-5. He threw for more touchdown passes. It was 37 touchdown passes to 23 touchdown passes. And it was 18 interceptions thrown by Andrew Luck to only 11 interceptions thrown by Peyton Manning. And the completion percentage was nowhere close. Peyton Manning completion percentage, 68.6%, almost 70% completion rating. And Andrew Luck was at a 54.1% completion rating. So the numbers, Peyton Manning basically blew him out the water, which is expected from a veteran quarterback compared to a rookie quarterback coming in. I believe that year, Andrew Luck, I believe they were a wild card that year in the playoffs, where I think Denver Broncos were like a 1 or 2 seed that year. And it's kind of the same way with our Atlanta Falcons. I'm going to continue to break down some numbers here for you guys, though, because I took down the three all 4 seasons that Peyton Manning played with the Denver Broncos, and I took all 4 years of Andrew Luck playing with the Indianapolis Colts. So that was the first season. That was a rookie year. So a lot of you guys might say, well, you know, Andrew Luck was a rookie that season, so it's kind of unfair to compare those two stats. You know, of course, Peyton Manning is going to have the better stats because he was only a rookie. He needed time to get his, you know, his feet up under him. So I'm gonna go to the next season. So this would have been Andrew Luck's second season, and this is Peyton Manning 2013 Denver Broncos. These are his numbers. This is age 37 of Peyton Manning. Age 37, 55 touchdown passes, which is the most touchdown passes that Peyton Manning has ever thrown in his entire career. 10 interceptions, a completion percentage of 68.3%. So he stayed on that. He stayed consistent at that 68% completion rating. He also made the Pro Bowl for the second straight year. The record again for Denver in 2013 was 13-3. And he passed for 5,477 yards passing. And in that particular season, he led the Denver Broncos to the Super Bowl. So in that season, that's the year that they actually lost in the Super Bowl 43-8, where they basically ran into a buzzsaw and they were beat by the Seattle Seahawks and the Legion of Boom that season. So those were Peyton Manning's numbers. Now I'm gonna read to you guys Andrew Luck's numbers in 2013. This would have been his second season in the league with the Indianapolis Colts. He was aged 24. He threw 23 touchdown passes and only 9 interceptions, which is not too bad. A completion percentage of 60.2%, and he made the Pro Bowl for the second straight season, just like Peyton Manning. Passing yards, he passed for 3,822 passing yards, and his team record was 11-5 again for the second straight season. So pretty consistent for Andrew Luck. He got a little bit better in his completion percentage, but again, he was blown out of the waters by the numbers of Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning that year led his team to the Super Bowl. You're comparing 55 touchdown passes to Andrew Luck's 23 touchdown passes. 10 interceptions by Peyton Manning, 9 interceptions by Andrew Luck. So not too much of a difference, but a huge difference in the number of touchdown passes. 55 touchdowns to 24 touchdowns is a huge difference. 68% or 68.3% completion rating again by Peyton Manning to 60.2% completion rating by Andrew Luck. 5,477 passing yards by Peyton Manning in that season at age 37, compared to a 24-year-old Andrew Luck who only threw for 3,822 yards. And then the records again, the team records: 13-3 by the Denver Broncos and Peyton Manning's Denver Broncos to Andrew Luck's 11-5 record. So this just goes to show you that even at advanced age, he was 37 years old, but his prime was stretched out because Peyton Manning is a historically great quarterback, just like Matt Ryan. So all of you guys that want to tank for Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, and these younger players, or even bringing in maybe another quarterback that's currently in the league, I will pump the brakes on that. I think that the Atlanta Falcons will be making a huge mistake if they decide to move on from Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan proved in yesterday's game against the Vikings that he still has a lot left in the tank. He's still one of the best quarterbacks. He's still a top 5 quarterback in today's game. When you go and bring in a rookie quarterback, that rookie quarterback coming in is not going to be able to, produce the same numbers as a historically great quarterback like Matt Ryan. But if you guys don't believe me, or you think I'm lying, I'm gonna continue with the stats. I'm gonna still continue to give you guys the stats and the facts, because the numbers don't lie. So 2014, now you would think Peyton Manning is gonna fall off the cliff, like we've been hearing about Tom Brady. Now you would think he's at age 38. You would think that he's gonna fall off the cliff at this point. This is his 3rd year in Denver. He's 38 years old. He threw in touchdown passes in 2014. He had 39 touchdown passes. 15 interceptions that season, a completion percentage of 66.2% completion rating. He made the Pro Bowl again for the 3rd year playing for Denver. The team record 12-4. So that year they lost one more game from the previous year that they made the Super Bowl. Passing yards, 4,727 passing yards in 2014 for Peyton Manning. Now we're going to compare his numbers to Andrew Luck in 2014. Andrew Luck with the Indianapolis Colts in 2014. At this point, he was age 25. He actually jumped up in touchdown passes. He threw 40 touchdown passes in 2014, 16 interceptions, a completion percentage of 61.7% completion rating. He made the Pro Bowl for the third straight year, just like Peyton Manning. And the record, again, he stayed on that baseline, 11-5 again for the Indianapolis Colts for the third straight season with Andrew Luck. Passing yards, 4,761 yards passing. So that year he actually passed for more yards by like 40 yards, to Peyton Manning's or over Peyton Manning that year. He actually had 40 more passing yards. And he also had 2 more touchdown passes that year than Peyton Manning. So in 2014, he actually had two more touchdown passes because it was 38 touchdown passes for Peyton Manning to 40 for Andrew Luck. He threw one more interception, 16 interceptions to 15 interceptions by Peyton Manning, but his completion percentage wasn't better. Peyton Manning's completion percentage that particular season, he stayed around that baseline of 68%. That year, he dropped down to 66% completion percentage compared to Andrew Luck's 61.7 completion percentage. So pretty much every single season for those 3 seasons right there that I just gave you, Peyton Manning passed for more yards pretty much every season but one season. He made the Pro Bowl every single season, just like Andrew Luck. Andrew Luck made the Pro Bowl all 3 seasons, but every single season, Peyton Manning led his team to a better record, a better team overall record. 11-5 for 3 straight seasons with Andrew Luck. From between 2012 and 2014, the Indianapolis Colts were 11-5. For Peyton Manning, between 2012 and 2013, they were 13-3. The Denver Broncos. In 2014, it was 12-4. So this just goes to show you, I really think if the GM and the owner of the Indianapolis Colts could do it all over again, if they could have had Peyton Manning back, or if they could do it all over again, I really think that, they always say hindsight is 2020. I really think that they would have thought about it, and they probably would have ended up keeping Peyton Manning and not trading him or cutting him, and allowing the Denver Broncos to actually bring in Peyton Manning, because within those 3 seasons, Peyton Manning was the better quarterback in every single season. Even in 2014, when Andrew Luck threw for 2 more touchdowns, Denver got further in the playoffs. In 2014, Denver was just the better, or in those 3 seasons, Denver was just the better team overall. And that was because Peyton Manning was leading the charge. Peyton Manning, with a veteran quarterback, veterans, they've been around. Peyton Manning had played in a Super Bowl, just kind of like Matt Ryan. He had played in 2 Super Bowls with the Indianapolis Colts, won one actually lost one against the New Orleans Saints, but won one against the Chicago Bears. And it's kind of similar to Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan's played in 1 Super Bowl, but he's also played in, I believe, 2 NFC Championship games, won one and lost one. So I believe that Peyton Manning and Matt Ryan are very similar. If you look at their numbers, Matt Ryan, if you compare them at the same ages, at age 35, Matt Ryan has actually thrown for more passing yards than Peyton Manning had thrown for at the same age. So Matt Ryan could easily overtake Peyton Manning as far as passing. He's already top 10. I believe he's number 8 on the list, if I'm not mistaken, for Matt Ryan on passing yards. He's already over 50,000 passing yards, and he's steady climbing the list. He just passed John Elway this season for passing yards. So I really think that if we decide to move on from Matt Ryan, this could be a huge mistake. And I really think, like I said, if the Colts could do it all over again, if they could have it back, and like they always say, hindsight is 2020. If they could have that 2020 hindsight, and they could go back and reverse things, I really think that they would have thought long and hard about keeping Peyton Manning a part of that Colts organization, because in that 4-year span, I only gave you the stats for the 3 years because in 2015, that's the year that Andrew Luck actually got injured. And that's the year that Peyton Manning actually got injured. And he only played in 10 games. But that was the same year that Peyton Manning actually won the Super Bowl, which was his last year in 2015 with the Broncos. That team was mainly led by the defense, Von Miller and Demarcus Ware. Those guys, that Denver defense basically won that championship in 2015. But even in that year, when Peyton Manning going down with injury, Andrew Luck, who was the quarterback that the coach decided to swap him out for in that season, he got injured as well. So I tell people all the time, like, if you have a historically great player, the point I'm trying to make is, if you have a historically great player, give those guys their flowers while they're still on your team. Cherish those guys, protect those guys, keep those guys a part of the organization, because the Colts could have easily won two or more Super Bowls if they would have kept Peyton Manning a part of that team. Now looking back at it, not only did Andrew Luck get injured in that 2015 season, but after 2015, he pretty much was riddled for the rest of his career with injuries, to the point where he had to retire. Peyton Manning had played 10 plus years, just like Matt Ryan, for the same organization, for the Colts, and he had been healthy. The only excuse I give the Indianapolis Colts is a kind of the same excuse I give the San Diego Chargers with that Drew Brees scenario, where he got injured and he hurt his shoulder, and they allow him to go hit free agency, and he ended up joining the New Orleans Saints. But in both of those instances, both of those guys proved the organization wrong. And both of those guys are historically great players, just like Matt Ryan. So be careful what you wish for, Falcon fans. Really be careful what you wish for. All of those people that's kicking Matt Ryan while he's down. We started 0-5, and all these people that's saying we need to get rid of the quarterback. Just be careful what you wish for, because the Colts, they end up only having Andrew Luck for about 7 seasons. They pushed Peyton Manning out the door while he still had a lot left in the tank. The only excuse, like I said, I give the Colts organization is he had that severe injury, that neck injury, and they thought that he may never play again. They didn't know, when he came back, they didn't know what he would have left. But for Matt Ryan, we need to stop doubting this guy. Every time we doubt Matt Ryan, he proves you wrong. He's done everything that a great historic quarterback does. He's done everything that a Hall of Fame quarterback does. His resume speaks for itself. He's in the top 10 all-time in passing. He's won an NFL MVP. He's been the Offensive Player of the Year. He won Rookie of the Year. It's nothing else he can do. He has a Super Bowl appearance on his resume. So I'm telling you guys, if we were to put Matt Ryan on the trading block, trust me, or if we were to cut Matt Ryan, trust me, it would be so many teams, they will be slobbering and, salivating over a chance to get Matt Ryan on their team. So just be very careful what you wish for, because I really believe if we were to let Matt Ryan go this year, and hypothetically speaking, if the Falcons were to finish, 1-15 or finish 2-14, and somehow we end up getting that number 1 draft pick and bringing in somebody like a Trevor Lawrence or bringing in a Justin Fields, those guys, they might come in and have some success, but I don't think that they would have the success that Matt Ryan has had with the Atlanta Falcons and the success that he's brought this organization. So we have to be very careful as fans to stop being so fickle. Stop, believing what you hear in the media, because Matt Ryan, his numbers speak for themselves. A lot of people, even myself, and I consider myself a football historian. I had forgot about Andrew Luck, and I had kind of forgot about Peyton Manning. It was just me thinking, I had to do some research and start thinking, and I was like, man, it's been so many quarterbacks that have been slept on, especially, at an older age, being a veteran type quarterback. And it's happened many times in NFL history where quarterbacks have went on to other teams and had success. It's not just Peyton Manning. Like I said, Drew Brees is another historically great quarterback who, if he would have stayed with the Chargers, if the Chargers would have re-signed him, he possibly could have won them a Super Bowl. At the time, They had him, and they had a historically great running back, now Hall of Famer LaDainian Tomlinson on that team. They also had Antonio Gates, if you remember, on that team as well, a historically great tight end. So if they would have kept Drew Brees on that team, who knows? They possibly could have won a Super Bowl, because if you look at it, Drew Brees ended up going to the New Orleans Saints, pairing up with Sean Payton, who's a great offensive mind, and he was able to go ahead and lead them to a Super Bowl, and he's led them to also great playoff runs. He's led them to great success. Before Drew Brees came to New Orleans, they were not known as a winning organization, similar to Matt Ryan coming to the Falcons. Prior to Matt Ryan joining the Falcons was not a winning organization. We're a team that never had back-to-back winning seasons. And when Matt Ryan came in, I believe for like his first 3 or 4 seasons, with him and Mike Smith at the helm at the head coach position, I believe we went to 3 consecutive playoff appearances, if I'm not mistaken, 3 or 4 consecutive playoff appearances. So we just got to be very careful what we wish for. Having Matt Ryan here as the quarterback for our Atlanta Falcons has been between the 2010 and 2020, the last decade has been the winningest decade for our Atlanta Falcons over our existence. Since the Falcons been in existence since 1966, this has been the winningest decade, and that full decade was all years that Matt Ryan has been the quarterback of our team, has been the franchise player of our team. So like I said, you got to be very careful what you wish for. Like I said, there's been many Hall of Famers who's went on and had success. Joe Montana was another one with the 49ers. They thought he didn't have much left, and he ended up going to play with the Kansas City Chiefs. And I believe he led them to a AFC Championship game, if I'm not mistaken. You can go fact check me on that, but I believe when he joined the Kansas City Chiefs, I know they made the playoffs in the postseason. They made a couple playoff appearances with Joe Montana at the helm, and they also almost made a Super Bowl. They went to an AFC Championship game. So I really believe if we do trade Matt Ryan and we do allow him to go to another franchise, I do believe we're going to be making a huge mistake. I do believe that Matt Ryan could could go to another Super Bowl and could win a Super Bowl with another organization. And trust me, it's a lot of teams out there that would love to have a Matt Ryan. Like I'm talking about Peyton Manning. Ever since Peyton Manning walked out the door, they haven't been back to another Super Bowl. And like I said, they traded him out for a younger player, but that player ended up getting injured because they put too much on his shoulders, similar to our Atlanta Falcons. Excuse me. So we got to be very careful what we wish for. But with that being said, this been your boy Jew. You guys let me know what you think of the video. Let me know if you think that this could be a possible situation where we're sleeping on Matt Ryan and he could go to another team, just like Peyton Manning did. Peyton Manning made 2 Super Bowl appearances in 4 seasons with the Denver Broncos. So that just goes to show you let go of a historically great player, they're able to carry on to another, a better or, another organization, and they could possibly lead them to a championship. So I personally, as a lifelong Atlanta Falcons fan, I don't want to see Matt Ryan win a Super Bowl and hoist that Lombardi for another team. I really do think if we correct our defense, we really could, we really could get back to another Super Bowl. Yesterday, they showed that Matt Ryan still has a lot left in the tank, and they showed if the defense can just get timely stops, as me and Mad Mike always say, if we could just get timely stops and the defense can pull their weight, Matt Ryan and Julio Jones can do, great things. They can work magic for you. But like I was saying, this been your boy Jew. You guys let me know what you think of the video. You guys continue to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, share out this content. I'm gonna continue to bring you guys the stats and the facts. You guys go do your homework. Like I said, always go do your homework. Don't believe everything you hear in the media. But with that being said, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys continuing to tune in, Falcons Nation, and anybody else viewing this video. Subscribe. Not just here, but also on Atlanta Falcons Nation. Hit that subscribe button. We appreciate you guys continuing to tune in. Also tune in tomorrow night. The Atlanta Falcons heavy hitters, me, Mad Mike, and K Styles. We will be doing our weekly show. at 8 p.m. 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So you guys tune in, continue to bring your questions. We definitely going to have a lot to talk about for this Sunday's game coming up against the Detroit Lions at home. And also we're going to recap Sunday's victory over the Minnesota Vikings. But like that, with that being said, also tune in on Wednesday nights. We have ATLian Sports Zone. My boy Big Low, Antonio, those guys bring you guys great Atlanta Falcons content as well. They come to you guys at 8 p.m. as well, Eastern Standard Time every Wednesday night. So you guys tune into their channel as well. But with that being said, this been your boy Jew. I'll highlight you guys in the next video. And as always, Falcons Nation, rise up, peace and love, and I'm out.